Hey everybody, so I want to take a moment to talk about this property. This lot is unusual for us in that all of our past acquisitions, all of our past sales have either been residential property or recreational property. We have never previously before had a commercial lot. And this is a property that's in the Calvada Valley North subdivision. So when it kind of came across my desk and do you want to buy it? Do you not want to buy it? I looked at it and said, okay, Calvada Valley, we know that subdivision. We've done a lot of business there. We like that subdivision. And this is a pretty large property, so all right, buy it. And then it went through escrow for a protracted period of time of about 5 or 6 months. Didn't hear from title company, didn't see anything about it until one day the closing documents show up and like, okay, we're ready to buy it. So we buy the property, and only upon getting ready to list the property and do our research do we find out, oh, it's actually zoned commercial, which kind of explains why it's such a large lot. So anyway, I like this property for a bunch of reasons. When I thought it was residential, now I like it even more as a commercial lot. And so I just want to kind of go through some of the major points about the property and then talk about what, of course, is most important to a commercial lot, which is location. So first off, this is the lot right here. If we go to the drone overlay photo, you can see what the general footprint of this property is. So number one, the first benefit of this property is that it's big. It's big by the standards of this subdivision and by really a lot of the way that land is subdivided in this region. This is 0.63 acres, so it's almost 2/3 of 1 acre. And even if that sounds small to you, that, again, trust me, is large by the standards of this region. So that's number one. Number two is this is a large corner lot. You've got this road right here, which is called Park Ave. It's spelled P-A-R-Q-U-E. But more importantly, you've got this road right here, which is paved highway frontage. This is Nevada State Road 160 is what it's called. And that is the main road that cuts through Pahrump and really the main road that cuts through this region of the state. Additionally, guys, as you can see in the photo here, you've got power running here along the eastern boundary of the property. You've got a fire hydrant right here, which tells us we've got water lines in this region. Fire hydrant right across the street, right across Park from the property. And there are underground utilities not on the property boundary, but servicing a home site back here on this end, which I'll show you in a bit. Anyway, with all that said, of course, the big selling point of this property is location. So let's talk about where this is, just kind of pull up the map. This is that corner I was just showing you. This is the home site I was mentioning. And this, of course, is Nevada State Road 160. And if you pull back right here, what you're going to see is that within Pahrump itself, this property sits kind of at the northern end of Pahrump. Now, the concentration of what we'll call commercial development is down here. It's in this part, right? This is where you're going to find the Walmart and the Smiths and the Albertsons, the Walgreens, the Home Depot, all of the fast food restaurants, so on and so forth. And as you go further north through here, there's less and less commercial, endeavors here along the sides of the highway. So some of you, I think, may look at this and say, well, it's right at the end of town. What's the big deal about that? This seems like a terrible location. I disagree, and I disagree for a couple reasons. So number one, if you pull back and you look at exactly where this is, first off, it's the end of Pahrump if you're driving from the south. If you're coming in from the north, it's the entrance to Pahrump. And what you'll find up here is this is the 95, US 95. And over here in this region is Death Valley. So you got a lot of tourists who go out to Death Valley. They're making their way back to Vegas. And invariably, they're either taking the 95 back in or they're going through Pahrump. They're going here along the 160. Point being, as those people enter Pahrump, this would be one of the very first, pretty much the first, commercial lot that they're going to encounter. Now, you've got a big corner lot like this. To me, that screams gas station convenience store. Of course, it could be used for other purposes. It could be a car wash. It could be, a fast food restaurant, drive-in, something like that. It has that kind of really good access. But if we just stick with gas station convenience store for a second, it's really the first gas station that you're going to encounter as you're coming in here off the 95. And for those of you who haven't driven in this region like I have, I can tell you there's Indian Springs over here, there's a gas station there, and then there's nothing, a whole lot of nothing. And then you keep driving out here to get out to Death Valley. You're gonna get out to Beatty, and then you're gonna kind of bang a left out here out by Rhyolite. That's how you get out there. You've got a beef jerky store out here. You've got a couple of gas stations along the way. But for the most part, it's a long stretch of highway that you're taking, unable to get gas, unable to get, drinks, use the bathroom, so on and so forth. So coming into Pahrump from this direction, I think this is a great location for something like that. Now, let's pretend for 2 seconds I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Maybe it could be something else. You're in a part of Pahrump up here that is becoming more and more developed. As you can see, there's a concentration of home sites right over here, concentration over here. There's more and more properties being built up here along this Glen Cove Ave, a lot that are kind of just hugging the corners right now, but more and more development in this region. You see some home sites over here. You see an RV resort up here where obviously there's a lot of people who are parking their RVs while they're vacationing in the region, etc. All these people want groceries, they want supplies, they want whatever. They've got a Walmart not too far away. Grocery stores not too far away, but it's still kind of a hassle, right? It's still a 10-minute drive down the road and a 10-minute drive back, and I got to go 20 minutes just to pick up iced tea or something. If you were to build a convenience store out here, something like that, a little, mini market, you've got kind of a captive audience, let's say, number one. Number two, if you're the first kind of development in this region, servicing this region with, grocery supplies, things like that, I think those people, you're going to have loyal customers for a long time. We're going to keep coming back despite however much other development comes out here. Now, additionally, let me also say this. For those of you who think that this is pretty far from the kind of dense concentration of commercial development where maybe you'd want a more commercial lot, the other thing I would tell you is living out here in southern Nevada, everything expands rapidly. Rapid home growth, rapid business growth, strip malls pop up all the time. And it's not just a Las Vegas thing. The adjacent communities like Pahrump, Boulder City, what we call Hendertucky, which is like the outskirts of Henderson, you see that out there as well. So point being, even if there's nothing out here right now, I think there's going to be something there within a matter of just a few years. So even if this is a property that you buy and hold on to with the intention of, I'm going to try to sell this to a fast food chain at some point, I'm going to contact Chick-fil-A and Burger King and McDonald's and see who wants this ideally located corner lot, probably not a bad idea. It's probably a really good investment property, and I don't say that about a lot of properties. For the record, guys, on the listing page, I'll get back to the photos in just a second. Up here at the top of the listing page, we've got a link to the, it's called Zone General Commercial. And we've got a link right here that brings up this PDF. It's an excerpt from the zoning ordinance that tells you all the uses that a property like this can have. And so automobile repair facility, service station, bank, banquet hall, so on and so forth. I'm talking about gas stations and convenience stores because that seems most logical to me. I'm talking about fast food restaurants, but it also talks about things like a clinic, a dance club, a drive-through restaurant, dry cleaning facility, fitness gym, so on and so forth. There's a lot of possibilities with this property. You're not restricted out here with much. I see excluding adult entertainment. So, okay, there's one exclusion. But for the most part, this property can be used for a lot of things. Now, let me just bring up the photo gallery here and just kind of go through some of these photos just to kind of show you. So first off, this is the turnoff from the highway onto Park. This looks like a kind of garbagey road right here, but this is right after we just had rainfall. So for the most part, this is something that's always, pretty paved, pretty well maintained. And as we go through these, this is the aforementioned fire hydrant sitting right across the street from the subject property. This is that power line along the eastern boundary of the property. And this is Park, where Park meets Park. So there is another road back here. It's not... I don't want to give you the sense that this is an extra, kind of corner to the property. The property ends before we hit this corner, but the point is that there is a, we'll call it a legal easement. It's earmarked for a roadway back there. And that is the home site I was talking about earlier that our photographer told us has underground utilities out there. Of course, he didn't take a picture of it, which would have, been helpful. But I think you could see in some of these photos across the street on the other end of the highway, you could see underground utilities out there. But the point is you've got a lot that, has access to all those things. Additionally, guys, want to point out, here's another commercial development just right up the street from this. Is about 500 feet north of the subject property. And this is an animal care center. So it's like a veterinarian's clinic. And this is pretty much the last thing you see as you exit Pahrump and go on a couple 100-mile drive out to Death Valley, or, whatever it is, roughly 90-minute drive out to Death Valley. That's the last thing out there. So I think if you've got a gas station or something located here, even for those who drive up through Vegas, go through Pahrump, and they realize, oh, you know, this is the last thing we're going to hit for a while. Let's stop. Let's use the bathroom. Let's play a slot machine. Let's pick up some beef jerky, whatever. I think this is a really good location. So while the area is not developed a great deal as far as commercial purposes right now, I think it's not a bad thing to be the first one out there. So anyway, with all that said, guys, I'll let you explore the photo gallery more. We've got, you know, more of the drone images here, more of the cutouts. You can see the aforementioned underground utilities across the street right here in this photo, etc. I'll let you analyze this more, but I think you see why I like this property so much, and hopefully you guys too. Anyway, thanks for watching.